Hello, everybody. We are so glad to see you today. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Lisa Daly. This is my channel, and today we are all here because we are going to do some awesome writing and productivity sprints. So, thanks so much for being here today. We are super, super excited. With me is the usual Wednesday crew. So let's go around the circle and do some introductions while we are waiting for folks to wander in. This is sort of funny. Once again, I have not posted anything on social media or done anything. We're just appearing here. But you guys know where we are. So there you go. All right. So welcome, everybody. We are very glad to see you. Let's start off with Story Detective. Tell us a little bit about you and your channel.
Okay, well, my channel is The Story Detective, and we take all forms of storytelling, put it under a Sherlockian microscope, and break down the craft and give it to the viewer to help make their craft journey easier. I also do tech reviews, and the channel is a little bit delayed, but there are things in the works.
That's good. That's good. I'm glad. I will be very glad to see your channel rolling again. Speaking of people who have rolling channels, Michelle Schusterman never misses an upload. and we all worship you for it. Hello, Michelle. Welcome. Tell us a little bit about you and your channel.
Well, thank you, Lisa. I'm Michelle Schusterman. I'm a young adult and middle grade author. My channel is writing vlogs and workshops and traditional publishing chats. And thank you for letting me be here today.
Thank you, as always, for being here. We love you. Sako's here. Sako, very nice to see you. You are looking very festive today with your little lights going on in the background. Those are very nice. So tell us a little bit about you and your channel as we get started today.
Howdy, neighbors. I'm Sako Toomey, also known as Cass Voight. I write horror, and I'm a witch, and I'm a graphic designer, and sometimes I combine those three things. In fact, if you are interested in videos that pertain to marketing for authors, I'm actually working on a 7-month boot camp for marketing for authors. That is my project today, is writing that script.
Wow. Look at you go. Very, very nice.
Like, instead of piecemeal like I've been doing, I'm going to try and organize it in a complete class.
Wow. Good for you. Very nice. Carol Brown, as always. Now, you are the designated boss today since you are in the window next to mine. That means you'll have to keep me on track with the comments if I go too crazy, as you know I am prone to do. I do love the comment. I love our chat. I can't help myself. So, Carol, please tell the fine folks in our audience today all about you and your awesome channel.
Hello, everybody. My name is Carol Brown. I am an urban fantasy author with those books on the wall over there. My channel mostly just has my Saturday writing sprints on it right now. I'm kind of like on a quest to finish all my pending manuscripts by the end of the year, so videos really don't happen for me right now. But I'm actually here to work on one of those manuscripts today and hopefully have 2 chapters to send off to an alpha reader, so that way they can tell me if it's legible or not. So,
yay!
Yeah.
Is legibility a factor in 2022?
Well, I mean, kind of like, when you like brain dump like so fast, like it's like, does this make sense? Like, do you understand what I'm trying to write?
I get it. Okay. All right. Fantastic. Okay. So, hi, I'm Lisa Daly. I'm a I'm a hybrid author, traditionally and indie published author of contemporary romance and nonfiction dating and writing advice, which doesn't seem like those things would be combined, but they are. So there you go. So let's say hey to everybody in the chat today. JC was first today. Congratulations. Yay. We're very excited. Awesome. Awesome. All right. So can I just say before we go to our next comment, Caro noticed that I'm sporting exciting new headphones today. But what I was telling her is it's literally the first time that I've used them and they're squeezing my brain. So I'm not sure if I will be switching to my old ratty headphones.
Yeah.
The working guys. Yeah.
I know when I first got these, I had the same problem, but like, if you want to do this trick that I did in the military, because I would get like a new hat every now and then, is I would get my hat guard and then I would put like my headphones on it. It would kind of stretch them out a little bit. So
I have one of those like to wash baseball hats in the washing machine. You know, it looks like a giant plastic baseball hat with holes in it. And so maybe I could put it on. It's basically head shaped. Maybe I could put it on that. These are crazy because they have like, here, hold on. They have like, they do this like wild, weird thing and they're always backwards. I don't like
Yeah, I had a
now.
pair
I'm
like
like, oh
that.
crap, what did I just do? They're backwards. Okay.
I want those. Oh my god.
You know what?
Hold
Thank you. They were black, and the horror geek was like, you know, you can get these skins to put on them to match your microphone or to coordinate with
Oh.
your microphone. So I did. They do look cute, but I don't think I'd do it again because it was a giant pain in the neck. All right. So JC is here. Hello. We're very glad to see you. Ginny Noble's here. Hello. We're very glad you're here today. RC is here. Good morning, fellow scribblers. Claude is here. Hello, Claude. We're very glad to see you today. Super glad, we might say. This Radiant Life is here. Hello. We're very happy that you are here today. We have lots of chit chat back and forth. I'm very, very glad to see everybody. Look who's here. It's Devin Cutting. Yay. We are very glad to see you. If you would like to know about the other live streams that are going on today, Devin has a playlist every single day, and you can find out when all the different streams are happening.
Indeed.
Yay. Very useful and helpful. Benny Bright is here. Hello. We're glad to see you. Mint Ghost. Hope everybody has a productive stream. I sure hope I do. I feel like
I
I'm
hope so too.
Yeah. So thank you all for being here today. I'm sorry we had to cancel at the last minute last week. I had like a crazy major migraine, like in bed all day kind of migraine. And I feel like I might as well have missed like 7 days of working instead of just one. Do you guys ever feel like that? If you have like
Yes.
one, like something real, and I was super busy last week. I had a super packed schedule and it just threw everything else off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Why is that?
I
Why
even
do we-
feel like daylight savings time has thrown me off since Sunday. I can't quite get a handle on this week. It's just, one of those weeks.
I totally feel that because I like normally wake up kind of on my own, like between 6:30 and 7. And I love that first couple of hours because nobody's really contacting you. Nobody's awake necessarily. And so like, it's really nice because I have like 2 hours sort of uninterrupted. It's like the 5 a.m. Writers Club, except I don't have to get up till 6:30. It's really nice. So yeah, I didn't like the first day of daylight savings, Monday, I slept till like 8:45. All right. Deborah's here. Hey Deborah, we're super glad to see you today. Cool Gamer is here. Cool Gamer, you like my headphones? All right, Regina Duke is here. Very
Regina,
nice
long time no see.
to see you. Very, very nice. Eva's here. Hi, Eva. We're very, very glad to see you. RC Scott says, woot, woot, horror. Yes. Boss Brown. Look at this. Boss Taco.
I had tacos on Monday. It was so good.
Yes.
Sorry, I didn't mean to throw off your group.
No, when are tacos not good though, right? Okay, so whoa, this is weird. It counted down and then went going live in 5 minutes. So I was sitting there waiting. Oh, that's weird. Very nice.
Yeah, YouTube will do that every once in a while. You just gotta refresh.
I don't think I even have a countdown. I think we just go. I mean, maybe YouTube does one, but yeah, we just go hit live. So how do you find alpha readers that would be so helpful for my poetry collection? This is an excellent. Can I just say, okay, so super writer question, and I think it's an awesome one, and we should definitely answer it. Actually, let's do this. Let's do our 5-minute warm-up sprint, and then when we come back, we're going to talk about how to find alpha readers. But I love that the very next question or comment is from RC, and he said, my head is too big for hats. It's just because your brain is so big and it needs a little extra room. That's all it is. Big brain, big skull.
I actually have like a tiny,
hats.
like, this is going to sound really bad. It doesn't matter how I say it, but I actually have like a really tiny head. Like my glasses are children's size. Like I know you can't tell on the camera, but it's
Is
true.
that true?
Yeah, all my glasses are children's size, and like the hats that I wear have to be like seriously adjusted in the back, but they still look comical in the front because they're made for obviously like typical sized heads.
Right. Right.
So yeah,
I always need, I don't know that my actual head is that big, although maybe it is. I was on television for 15 years. Sorry. I don't know if my head's that big, but I have so much hair that it doesn't, right? I mean, I might as well be carrying like a small cat in there because I really do, like, if I ever wear hats, which I don't wear hats like very much in my everyday life, except for like big beach hats, so big sun hats. All right. Let's keep going. Devin's got all the streams. His playlist is right there. Look who's here. Cecil Runo made it. Hello.
Yay!
Hello. All right, you guys. Eva says daylight savings is super fun in the morning. I'm not liking how late it is after kiddo goes to bed now.
Right on.
It's a pain. Just Eva says time changes again in 2 weeks. Oh my gosh, I have like book coaching clients in Arizona, and they go to Pacific time this week, which or went to Pacific time this week, which was kind of weird. And then I just saw something in the news last night, right before I went to bed, about how they're trying to make daylight savings permanent so that
Yeah.
we will not have the spring forward fall backwards, and that actually there's like support for it this time. Like I guess they've tried to do it before, and the reason it never passes is that they sell a lot more like golf spikes and basketballs and grills and things when you have more daylight hours. We always were told that it's about like farming, but it's actually not.
No.
They sell more outdoor stuff, and so that's why there's always a push against it, because you're always like, everyone hates it. Why would anyone vote against it? That is why. Anyway,
Money.
so it's money, right? I know this is going to come as a big shock to everyone. I don't want to surprise you this early on a Wednesday morning. All right, so let's go ahead and do our 5-minute warm-up sprint, and then when we come back, we are going to talk about how to find we're going to talk about how to find alpha readers and beta readers and whether or not you need them. All right, here we go. Let's see. It looks like I've already started the countdown. Good gracious. Let's just make this a happy day. Here we go. All right, we're going to get started in 3. There we go. 2, 1. 5-minute sprint. Get yourselves ready. All right, here we go. Let's see if I can get rid of this screen and the banner. So you guys let us know what you're working on. I'm trying to remember who I muted. I think I muted Michelle, but not Robert. All right, are we good? Hi everybody. Nice to see you again. Yay. All right, fantastic. So let's get back going with the comments here. So did he not talk about what we're working on today? Okay, I think everybody did when we introduced ourselves. So you this is going to be such a challenging stream today because apparently my brain is not fully functional. So if you
perfectly functional.
So tell us what you guys are working on in the chat today. I love this question. How do you find alpha readers? It would be so helpful for my poetry collection. So before we start with that, Caro, I would love for you to talk about the difference between your alpha readers and beta readers.
Oh, yeah, sure. So an alpha reader in Caroland is an exceptionally patient person because normally my alpha readers get to read my brain dump of whatever chapter I'm writing. And when I send it to them, I'm really just asking for their initial impression. Like, does this work? Is this garbage? Do I keep doing it? And I'm not asking for them to critique sentences, to look at characters. I'm basically looking for like that first impression. Where a beta reader is usually somebody who's going to read your script after it's gone through an editor, and they're going to give you the feedback as an avid reader. So they'll tell you a little bit more about like their impressions of characters, the world building, and things like that. But again, they're not a critique partner because your critique partner is going to get into the writing craft of whatever it is that you're writing and kind of get into like sentence structure, fluency, and stuff like that. So
thank you very much for clarifying. All right. So how do you guys find alpha readers and beta readers?
I beg.
You beg.
I beg.
Okay. So we'll just put that on a list. We beg. So
I have a Google form.
Yeah. Okay. So Google form is good. I think your newsletter is a really great place to find people who want to be beta readers because they're already fans and they like to see your stuff early. So they're often like willing to be part of that process. I know a lot of authors who ask for beta readers on social media. What do you guys think about that?
It can work.
Yeah.
It's dicey.
It's dicey. Okay.
So my thought is like, I don't have like an avid pool of alpha readers because, for example, like I asked my husband to like read like my Ghostwalker Chronicle stuff because that's more in his lane of stuff that he wants to read. And the thing that I'm working on right now, I send that to somebody else because, my husband is a wonderful person, but he really doesn't want to read books about men who lost their shirts and the women who helped them find them, right? So you have to make sure that whoever it is that you're asking to alpha read is a pretty avid fan of that genre too.
What do you guys think about
that? Has been the hardest for me because I usually don't read sci-fi, and I'm like, okay, great.
I'll be your alpha reader, doll.
Well, yeah, so you don't want like a typical romance reader to be a beta reader for your sci-fi. I will say I actually got a really buttoned up email today or yesterday, I'm not sure when it arrived, that was like, hi, and this person had they had a book that was going to be ready for beta readers on March 25th. Their pub date is April 1st. So obviously it's an indie book, but it was very well put together. The cover was great. The blurb was great. They already had a couple of great little reader blurbs. And they basically said, hey, would you be willing to beta read? And then if you say, you either had an option to pre-order it at Amazon, or they would send you, if you did say, yes, I can beta read it, and she gives you the date right up front, then she would send you to her Google form. And then the other thing I thought was really smart was that she said, hey, would you please add this book on Goodreads? It really helps to spread the word. And I thought that was like, one of the things that I talk about with writing newsletters is that you should always ask them to do something. Like you're mostly giving them things unless you have a book coming out, but you can always ask them to do small things just to get them in the habit of pushing buttons on your behalf. right? So one of the things that you can do is ask them to follow you on Instagram, or like, not like, don't spread out the array and say, follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, da, 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 right? Do one thing. But hey, would you mind adding my book to Goodreads? That's super easy, especially if you're, providing the link. They just have to click one thing. There it is. And I think that, it's one of those great things where they can help you, but it's not much of an ask, and they already like you. So they're probably willing to do it. So she did. Oh, and she had a form and said, if you can't do it by the 1st, which is pub day, when can you do it? So she asked you to come up with a date for when you could review it if you can't review it by April 1st, which again I thought was great, because you're sort of committing to a date that's going to work for you.
Is that beta reading or is that ARC reading?
She called it beta reading, but I would call it ARC reading.
Okay.
She wants reviews before the book comes out.
Yeah.
Right.
In
That's
a couple
the
of
ARC.
weeks. Right, exactly.
I wouldn't call that beta reading at all.
I wouldn't call it beta reading at all. That's what she called it.
That was a wrong term, but still, she did.
But the rest of it was very buttoned up.
Yeah,
she wanted ARC reviewers, not just ARC readers. She wanted ARC reviewers. So
I would personally be a little bit more meticulous in this whole process, just because I would want to divide it up into categories. I would almost take it on as applications and look at some people writing, because you want some people who actually know their stuff, and then you want readers of your genre, and then you also want other readers that read a variety of things, because what they all have in common will probably be the areas that you need to fix. And you want those different opinions to reach a broader type of.
I completely agree.
Very, very nice. Very good. All right. So any other place besides your newsletter, social media, and just your general, like, I think most authors have like a little bit of a list of beta readers, or, I mean, I have for years, but I don't actually, but I never called them beta readers.
I get my street team and my beta readers and all of them either from YouTube or from my Discord.
Okay. Fantastic. Very nice. How about you, Michelle?
Honestly, I've had the same beta readers for like 8 years. It was writers that I met, some of them online and some of them in person, and we became friends. And then it was like, will you be my Valentine? And then that's it. Yeah.
I have a couple of like horror writer friends that I'm really thinking of asking if they would be willing to be alpha or beta. I don't let anyone see my zero draft. Like,
and the other thing too is that you don't want to waste a read on a crappy draft. So like, I would probably not. I'd probably wait until I felt like pretty good about the book before I would send it out to my first round. And the other thing too is that if somebody else reads your stuff, when they come back around and ask you, like, this is just like a public service message. Hi, folks. If you ask another author to read your work, and they do, then when they ask you to read their work, you should. Like, you need to. Don't be you don't want that karma coming back to you. Like, be a good human, read their stuff, and do it in a timely manner if you're able to.
Yeah, all right. And if you don't be upset when they stop reading your stuff.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. I have to say, RC, this is completely off topic, but RC says he gets up between 9 and noon and the whole world is awake by then. I love that. RC, you're my hero. All right. So Devin says changing clocks passes throws him off for 6 weeks. I feel like that is absolutely true. And then we're talking about hat sizes, large, medium, small, and then Caro. Oh, JC jumped in with the bill also. Right? It just passed. It just passed committee, right? It didn't pass the.
I believe the change is going to happen next year. We're going to still go through.
Did it pass the Senate already?
All.
It passed the Senate.
I thought it still had one more chamber. I thought it passed the House, but not the Senate. Well, did it pass? Oh my gosh, that's awesome. I hope it does. Well, and like I said, I read the news at the end of the day, so it's possible it was like morning news that I was reading and that it had already been resolved by the time it happened. So yay. All right. And Eva also thinks that. I think it passed some level of red tape. Anyway. Whew. All right, fantastic. Tamara says it's the same number of hours, which is what makes no sense to me. I guess more hours when the 9 to 5ers are off work. It's the fact that there's more daylight after work. That's what causes people to spend more on barbecues, apparently.
Yeah, and I
That's
think the time thing that throws us off is also kind of psychological because an hour shouldn't make much difference one way or another, but
It doesn't affect me that badly.
often it
Yeah.
doesn't. But this time around, it kind of did, I think, unless it's
it kills me every single time, and I'm not sure why. I don't. Maybe I just have like a very rigid internal clock. I don't know, but yeah.
When I
And I
lived in Europe, because
about like when to go to bed.
oh crap, my internet
Oh.
is lagging, right?
No, Lisa's internet is lagging.
Oh, go
Oh,
ahead,
yeah.
doll.
When I lived in Europe, I had the same problem with the summer, like when this time around. So when the fall comes and you get 1 hour extra for sleeping, that was amazing. But then this time around, you lose an hour, and it's like, why did I? So
Yeah.
it's terrible. It's not just in the U.S. In Europe, it's the same thing, and it's a pain in the ass.
It's
There-
terrible.
There are
Everybody
some
hates it.
countries. There are some countries already in Europe. Iceland is one of them that no longer does the daylight savings. It's the same time, the same all year round is the same. So Iceland was like, screw it.
Yeah, well, it is smart to do that just because they're all, like heart attacks and strokes increase the week after daylight savings. People feel more depressed. Like there are all sorts of more car accidents, things like that. There are all sorts of like negative and measurable effects from daylight savings times that they know about. And at some point, you just have to think like, okay, human beings are like slightly more important than barbecue grills. All right. So Claude says, I'm still in my writing break, but I could not pass this stream. Aw, thank you. And Spence is here. Spence says, lurk mode activate. Hey, duckies. Hey, Spence. Thank you very much for that. We really appreciate it. And thanks for the sticker. I appreciate it. That's so sweet of you.
I have to be the box next to you and tell you're really far behind in the comments.
Okay. All right. And you know what? Barrett's here. Very nice. I'll just jump down. In and out because we're house hunting today, leaving a like and sending everyone good vibes. I'm sending you good house hunting vibes. I already want a tour, Barrett. The second you move in, I already want a tour. All right. Good luck with that. We're very glad. Good luck. It's a tough real estate market right now.
Senate passed it. It needs to go to the House. Oh.
Okay. Thank you very much for the legislative update. And with the news out of the way, let's go ahead and do another sprint. This time we're going to do a 20-minute sprint. I feel like, did StreamYard do an update? I feel like there are new buttons. Like one of the things I could have just picked was extra camera.
Yes.
Because you guys need 2 angles of my head, right? All right.
Or a cat cam.
Or a cat cam. Or maybe like a finger
you can do background
cam.
music now. Like you can add music in the background as well. That's another thing.
Yeah, the
that
music
you can do.
in the background.
Yeah, I've seen that. Although people are getting in trouble for with like royalty issues, or not royalty issues. Oh my God, copyright claims. All right, let's do this. Carol, would you like to give us a pep talk to start off for our very first 20-minute sprint?
Yes. Welcome back, everybody. It is that time. It is that time to get to work. And I don't know what you're working on. Maybe you're staring off into space. You're doing an outline. You're thinking about Camp Nano. Whatever it is, you've got 20 minutes to do it. And you better do it. Because if you're not, I'm going to judge you. All right. Anyway, so that's it.
Oh, you're muted, hon.
You're Lisa. We cannot hear you.
Here I am. Okay, so that's funny. I think it auto muted me. I couldn't hear the music, and I had to keep like last week or week before last. I had to keep looking up to see what time it was. So I figured out that if I plugged my headset into my computer instead of my microphone, that I could like hear the waves and the doo 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 music. So I did that, but then I got like so into what I was doing, I did not realize what time it was until I heard the doo 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 go off. So there you go. All right, fantastic. Very, very nice. How did everybody do that?
Great.
Good. Very
Yes.
glad to hear it. All right. So we had a couple people pop in. Here we go. We've got Heather's here. Hello. Very nice. I don't know what she's agreeing with. Oh, here she is. Eva says chapter lengths are largely irrelevant to the overall story. In my opinion, different readers have different expectations. I've seen chapters as few as 300 words, as long as 10K. Don't be the 10K. I think this is such an interesting topic.
Pacing
I
is
am
important.
the 5K. I am the 5K. Hi.
Pacing, for me, pacing is important,
Yeah.
right? So in some of the like dread leading up to it, I kind of like to draw out. And then once the climax rolls along, I get shorter and shorter chapters.
Yeah, well, that is right. As your story progresses, your chapters will likely get shorter at the very end, and actually your sentence structure becomes more
Will start
compact
getting
at the
choppier. Yeah.
or just shorter at the end. So this was the question that started. Hello, Write the Dang Thing. We are very glad that you are here today. Quick question. Would 3477 be a good word count for a chapter? I was aiming for 4,000, but I am sure, or I am not sure. So I have strong opinions on this.
I think it depends on the chapter.
Depends on the chapter, and I guess you're struggling because of maybe you're trying to do the Kindle Vella thing. Maybe that's why you were aiming for 4,000 because Kindle Vella.
I don't know. Let's find out. Why were you aiming for 4,000? Write the dang thing. Michelle, I see that look on your face.
They need to be like that. Sometimes scenes are super short and sometimes they're long. I get clients sometimes ask me like, how many chapters do you think this book should be or will be? And it's like, I don't know. You
However many it takes
I will
to
keep
tell
writing
the
them
story.
until I get to the end of the book.
Yeah, it's not how you really, I don't know, gauge it, and it's hard to explain that,
Right.
But there's no, I don't actually think it's necessarily, unless like Doll said, you have like a limit set by something like Kindle Vella. But just if you're writing a story, I don't think it's necessarily even good to aim for a word count for your chapter. I think you need to figure out how, like, let the scene be what it needs to be.
Right.
When it's over, it's over.
All right.
There are
Well, I said I had a lot.
chapters,
Go ahead, Robert.
and I never go by, let's make a chapter, super long. I think of the scene. There are longer and shorter scenes, but if you build your scene to an interesting point, it almost contains the same thing as a chapter. And sometimes a chapter will have to consist of several scenes, but a lot of times it doesn't.
Right.
And that way you can end up with shorter chapters if you just focus on making the scene relevant.
Right. Well, and sometimes you want sometimes a reaction chapter is a short chapter. Sometimes it's a long chapter. Sometimes an action chapter is a shorter chapter. Sometimes I agree with what both you and Michelle have said. Sometimes it needs to be longer, but I would focus more on the story than on the word count. So I know it's hard sometimes to think that way. And again, if you're writing something that's like episodial type of a story where you're trying to, give the reader a certain amount of content every week, I think that gives you more of a challenge. But honestly, I love to end, with some sort of a little mini resolution, but then you've just found out that something's worse than we all thought it was going to be, or some sort of hook or some kind of bad thing, like where I want to leave the end of the chapter in such a way where they have to go, well, I'm just going to read 3 more pages to find out what happens next. And then
Right.
before they
Mhm.
know it, it's 2:00 in the morning. So that is always my goal as far like
That
if
was the reason why I came
That
late
is my
today.
goal.
well,
Okay.
that is the best reason ever for coming late to the live stream. So I hope that
Sci-fi
answers.
stuff keeps me up at night. It's like, oh, let me just watch one more thing.
Yep. See, there you go. So if that answered your question, let us know. And if you have more questions, or if you want to clarify why specifically you were aiming for 4,000, we would totally love to know all about that. All right, I'm going to
Mhm.
just cruise down to the chats. Okay, let's see. We have lots and lots of we have lots and lots of great comments. Eva says, oh, chapter links are largely irrelevant. That's actually what got us into the conversation. RC says, I thought about writing an entire story on chapter 1 just to mess with people. That totally seems like something you would do. And RC says, feels like something Douglas Adams would have done. Very, very nice. Eva says, if there's breaks, it could be chapterless. If there aren't breaks, I'd likely be more inclined to do not finish. I could read slow scenes, but only when I know they have an end. All right, that's good. Very, very nice. I have at least 20 chapters right now. You're a plotter. Thanks for the feedback. I won't be the 10K. Good job. All right. I mean, somebody could make it. I have to say that, like, somebody could make that work and just kill it on that. All right. I don't think like a 10,000 word chapter would have to be like really, really
Broken
compelling.
up. It's
Well, if
done.
it's broken
Yeah.
up, it's not a 10,000 word chapter.
Wait. It could be a break of POV within a chapter, so that could work. But it
Yeah.
will have to be like several camera switches from one POV to the other, and make
Yes.
sure that you always put the scene breaks so the reader
Yeah,
knows
you,
that they
yeah,
are
you
like
need that little
switching.
line space between scenes, and a
Mm.
scene
The
changes
orna-
every time a location changes or a point of view changes. And if you
So-
think about a scene, I mean, a scene has that reversal. The point of view
Mhm.
character is going in with some kind of intention, and that intention meets with a reversal. After the reversal, it could be a number of things that surprise the point of view character. It could be a
I did
question, an answer they didn't expect. It could be some type of surprise, but always that break learns something or disappoints something that leaves you with a question.
I
Mhm.
did that, but my failure was that because it's a visual thing that I wasn't sure how to do because hi, I'm blind. I listen to audiobooks. I didn't do the scene break. I didn't do the scene breaks thing, but I was like, oh shush, and I just fixed it, and I now I have a chapter that goes back and forth between 2 POVs, and it's a longer chapter because of that. I'm so happy that came into the topic. Sorry, got too excited.
That's awesome. All right. So Regina says the waves are incredibly soothing. Very glad, Regina. We're very glad you're here today. Trudy's here. Hello, Trudy. We are super glad you made it. Ginny got 543 words on Underground Angel. That sounds like I really like that title. That's pretty cool. Mint Ghost edited another chapter. I always write about 4 to 5K chapters. I know this is long, but I always just seem to write that much. You know what? However long it takes, right? That's the answer. However long it takes. 2 to 5K is the most common. I would not know that. I mean, I could probably guess. I don't know. Would you know? Now we all know the answer. But all right, I would not have known that. 2 to 5K is the most common, but I haven't met a reader yet who counts words. It's all about the pacing. Yes, that is
Yeah.
exactly right. Let's see. Claude, I just read a Dean Koontz novel. 380 pages was 130 chapters. So, right? But if you think about his writing, it's like it's all pace. You're like turning those pages fast. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a lot like I think most of my novels come in around like 40 chapters, but for about 300 pages. 283, but that's just coming from memory. So if I'm wrong, don't hold it against me. All right, MM Ward, we're super glad to see you today. I'm so late, had to give 2 of the ghost shots and clean the bites from a neighbor's dog.
Also, Laura Nettles is here. Hi, Laura.
Hi, Laura. Oh, I skipped right over you. Sorry about that, honey. Laura's here. Hello. We are very glad to see you. Well, I assume since you're here, you would like to write some work. Here we go. Midnight Madness hit me last night. Might have a book idea that isn't. Ooh, all right. That's
Yeah,
looking good.
that's the great segue for a sprint.
It is a great segue for a sprint. Let me pop up that timer here. Let's see. Did I rewind it? I don't think so. No, I did not. So I'm going to have to go over and do that. Sorry about that, guys. All right, here we go. Doll, would you like to give us a pep talk for our sprint here today?
Yeah, let's do it. All right,
Okay.
darlings. This is the time for developing your midnight madness ideas. Work on your timer. Bleh, bleh, bleh. Sorry, my tongue is not cooperating. It doesn't matter. We're here to work. We're here to write. We're here to do our thing, whatever it is that we do, drawing, if you will. And we have 20 minutes on the clock to accomplish this. And we are here to support you. So get ready to write in 3, 2, 1, and sprint.
All right. I don't know if this, I'm going to have to be better at watching the clock if I'm going to do this. So I'm trying to remember who I muted again. I think it was Doll. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Okay. So how did everybody do with that last
Good.
sprint?
Not
Good.
bad at
Good.
all.
All right. That's awesome. All right. Fantastic.
Hey,
Very, very
so
nice.
I have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
I am updating my media kit for 2022,
Mm-hmm.
and I wonder. So I have my books, both past and future, like mapped out. But I'm wondering, should I also map out my short stories
In your media kit?
in my media kit?
How in, I mean, are you going to
Like,
pitch? Are you going to pitch on your short stories?
I don't know, maybe.
Well, so you don't want to like make it super cluttery. One of the things about having your
Right.
book in your media kit is that, let's say somebody decides to cover you, they need to know which book to plug, right? So if you have 17 different, like if you have a couple, maybe a, couple of nonfiction and fiction, or your most recent fiction, the one that's out that people can actually buy, then that's what you're going to want them to plug, right? They're going to plug one thing. It's not going to be 15 different things. So it's either going to be relevant to the article or the story that they're covering, or it's going to be your most recent thing. Mostly they're going to look for relevance. So I would say, unless you have a short story that's way outside what you would write about in your full length fiction, I would not include it.
Okay.
Okay, fantastic. All right, you're welcome. You're so welcome. All right, so Eva says, I'm headed into mom life. Very, very nice.
Good luck,
Mhm.
Eva.
Take
Very,
care.
very good. All right, hold on. I have missed blah blah blah. All right, MM Ward says I write 3 to 5K chapters, but cut them down between 2.5 to 3K for books I self-pub on Kindle or Amazon or Vella. All right,
Mhm.
fantastic. Very, very nice. That is very helpful. Heather was going to say the same thing about pacing. Laura, wait a minute. It may be a romance.
Mm.
Let me just say this. I'm living proof that horror and romance can live together.
Yeah, indeed.
Yes.
Hashtag horror geek. All right. So I love that. I love that. I actually did. I can't remember if I just thought about it, if we just made a joke about it, or if I actually did it. But I remember talking with the horror geek when we first got together about how I should do a segment on the daytime show about how horror and romance are so similar. How
Yeah.
how romance is like horror. But don't get me started. There was like a whole back and forth thing there.
That is a whole other stream that we can make.
All
Yeah,
right.
all
So,
stories kind of share things in common, I think, if you look
Mhm.
Yeah,
closely.
me too.
But
Mhm.
I have a
That's true.
question for Kara when we're talking about scenes, and you mentioned brain dumps. As a meticulous planner, I mean, I'm imagining you have like an end game for your scenes, but then within the scene, do you just put all ideas down that pertain to that and pick the best? How do you come at a scene?
No, that's a great question. Thank you. So let me see. So I guess I can share this one without. Hold on. We're just gonna pretend like you guys can't read both sides of this page. So usually what I do
Wait, hold on.
is.
Hold on, let me make you big. All right, there we go.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys are gonna see it, but basically what I do is I have like a 3-word summary for what I want to happen in that moment. So for example, the start of Tangled Tango actually starts with my heroine breaking down crying in the middle of her book club discussion, which one raises questions and 2 makes people kind of keep reading, and then also introduces like her personal struggle that she's doing at the time. So, and that's really just it's really kind of more like a guiding post of where I want to go. But usually a lot of like the meticulous stuff that that I do actually happens in the editing process.
Right.
So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to hit all those notes that I made for the book, and then I go back into the writing craft and be like, well, I need to make sure that this element is present. I need to make sure that this is, you know, made clear to the reader and all that other stuff. So that's how I do that.
Fascinating. I love that. All right. Pretty cool.
Totally unlike my own. I think I have like 4 or 5 little points of each scene, you know, what the intention is, what the reversal is going to be. And then I don't really stick to that. If something else comes along while I'm writing, I just kind of free flow with it, kind of get to the same point and then see how it all works out.
I love that. That's awesome. Laura has a comment. She says she feels a little out of her depth with this one, but the more I think about it, it more maybe a dark fantasy romance. I love this for you. So I think it's very exciting to write sort of out of your comfort zone. There is something really fabulous and spectacular about doing that. Like it gets all sorts of creative juices, you know, coming alive that weren't there before. So yay, I like, let us know how this is going. And you know what? I actually have a video about romance beats. I don't know if you would find it helpful or not, but it
I
might.
would totally find it helpful.
But if you're like, what happens next? It's just the sort of basic beats of a romance that at least might help you, you know, sort of marry that like fantasy structure with romance. Or it could be completely useless. I don't know. But it is there if you want to see it. All right, fantastic. Okay, so Laura says starts off with a wedding and blood binding ceremony. Love it. Then he gets called off to war. The next day, dark times ensue for her at the hands of her father-in-law. When the husband returns, he has no idea she's stashed away under the floorboard. She can hear him, but he can't hear her. Okay. Fascinating.
All right, that the telltale Quiet Edgar Allan Poe kind of thing.
Still a little bit. I feel a tinge of horror there, just a little bit, just a hint. All right, so that is fantastic. Compliment time. Hello, Heather. Loved your video last night. Yay, you. Very, very nice. Fantastic. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and do one more sprint. We have time. We should definitely.
We have time.
We should definitely do the writing. So I will do our little pep talk this time. Let's see. Once again. Oh, I have forgotten to rewind. So I'll run over and do that really fast. So you guys, I'm super proud of you. We have one more sprint today, and we are going to make it count. So here we go. Let's do our last sprint in 3, 2, 1. All right, let's get rid of that. Very good job. Very nice. So how did everybody do?
Good.
Good. Oh, now I
Hey.
can't hear you guys. Hold on. All right.
Yeah, I did.
Hold on.
I did
I
all
really
right.
am gonna. I'm either gonna have to like switch headphones, like between if I want to hear the music or something else. I can't go
Oh.
back and forth because
It
I'm not
sounds
that.
like I think it's just your audio settings. You'd probably have to fiddle. Maybe.
Maybe I can hear you just fine when when I have my headphones plugged into the mic, but I can't hear the audio from the
Right.
timer video. So I'm gonna have to. I'll have to dig around and see if I can find some way to solve
Mm.
that. So
Okay.
anyway, all right. So how did everybody do on that last sprint?
Self-care sprint.
Yay!
Mm-hmm.
Very.
Questions kind of sprint. I went on some Facebook groups and I'm asking for cover design services. It's not for tomorrow, it's for next year, but I have to plan ahead because I have no money for it. So I have to find my way to have money for it in advance.
Perhaps a Kickstarter might be a way to do that.
I have a
Mhm.
we never got to it, but Lisa, I will talk about that with you later because I have a coffee page and there is a goal.
Mhm.
So I do have those things set. In fact, last night I was updating. That was my sprint actually. I went into the support pages and I made sure that everything was updated the way I wanted it.
Nice.
Because last night I updated everything, but you know it was last night, so yeah, it was late.
I feel you. I know. Yes. We were just talking about that earlier, sort of back and forth in the chat about about how everybody's just like wackadoo this week as far as
It has been a weird week for me as well, even though I don't do daylight savings because you know there's no daylight savings where I live. But still, maybe I'm feeling everybody's back probably.
that's right. I feel like I need to make this into a bumper working here a bit while making granola. Very, very nice. Oh, MM Ward wants to read Laura Nettles' awesome horror / fantasy / romance. Love it.
Mm.
Very awesome.
Should read her other
Super
books she's got
cool.
out. Those are good.
Yeah. So Heather says had to deal with the pressure washing thing going on. Oh, so you've got all sorts of good stuff going on. Oh, thank you, Horror Geek. It's something in
I
your
saw
audio.
this coming.
It's something in your audio settings. So
See?
it's likely it's really a shame you don't know people who can figure that out. Horror Geek, please come to my office at the end of the stream. Horror Geek, you're being paged.
Horror Geek to report at office desk after the stream. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All
Why
right.
I don't work in like audio calling services? That will be
Right?
a job for me. What I will apply for a job in a post office.
Mhm. There you go. Or, at the airport. Well, I think it's automated now when you have. Do they do calls like
I
that in the
know
airport?
it's all automated. I know. I was just joking.
What I
But
find interesting is I've always had the my computer or iPad set up as speakers and my mic as the mic, and I've never had that feedback loop where I've had to wear a headset. So I don't know what I'm doing that other people are doing, but it works, and I don't have to wear things on my head.
I don't mind because it helps me sort of tune out like the world. A lot of times I'll have headphones on when I'm writing, even if I'm not listening to anything. I just have it's like okay, focus. It's that, and I'd like to report now that I've worn these for a whole 2 hours that they are not squeezing my brain anymore.
Oh, good.
So it was just right. So they're significantly more comfortable than the first 5 minutes when I initially put them on. Deborah wrote one tiny scene today, yay, that I was dreading. Those are the hardest, so I'm glad that you got through it in the sprint and then worked on a timeline for second act. Yay!
Nice.
That is fantastic. You guys in the chat, let us know how you did. All right, let's see. Now I want to make granola. Headphones are great for listening to stuff while doing noisy things or living in a noisy area. Yes, I don't we have enough space where it's not particularly noisy, except if there's somebody at the door because the dog's like, but yeah, I think it's just like cue for my brain, like, okay, we're working now. So
Let's see. There's the dog next door. There is the fruit vendor that comes yelling with a megaphone about the fruits that he has available for the day. There is the car. There's the train. There's the I have a lot of noise around me. How do
You-
I even record audio for my videos? I don't know.
you know, it's lovely ambient noise. I never hear anything in your videos. Like I never.
That's because I do a lot of compression and sound like noise reduction, and
Ah.
I do
Well,
a lot of audio processing over here.
It's working. It's definitely working.
Mhm.
All right, you guys, we are coming up on 12:58 Eastern time, so it is time for us to say goodbye. But okay, we were gonna our big topic du jour, because of course I didn't plan anything until I came in. I was like, hey, what should we talk about today? And we were going to talk about Camp Nano, which we never got to. But
So maybe next week?
Yeah.
Question mark?
Yeah, we can talk about it next week. So if you have Camp Nano questions, keep those in your brain for a week and share them when we come back. All right, everybody, we will be here next Wednesday, same time, same place. Before we go, let's say goodbye to all of our fabulous friends. Carol, I'm going to start with you this time. I know. You're muted.
Hello, my name is Kara Brown. I am an urban fantasy author. I wrote those books on the wall over there. I came here today to work on chapters to get sent to my alpha reader, and I have done that. I just need to flesh out one part before I immediately throw it at them and then run away screaming in the other direction like I normally do. So thank you for having me. It was a great time.
Thank you for being here, Sako.
Howdy, neighbors. I'm Sako Toomey, also known as Cass Voigt. I write horror, and I'm a witch, and I'm a graphic designer, and sometimes I combine those three things. In fact, Doll talked to me about cover design, maybe. I know you tried last night, but let's try. I don't know. I'm rethinking it.
Okay.
If you are interested in videos that pertain to marketing for authors, I have a whole playlist of them on my channel, Sako Toomey Cass Voigt, and it's not just me talking. It's also people like Lisa and Barrett and a bunch of other awesome author tubers who have something to say on the topic. You should drop by sometime. I would love to see you.
Very nice. Thank you very much, Michelle.
Hey, I'm Michelle Schusterman. I'm a young adult and middle grade author. My writing channel is writing workshops, vlogs, and traditional publishing chats. Thank you for having me, Lisa.
Thank you so much for being here, a story detective.
I write, I draw. What can I say? The channel is definitely definitely on a bit of hiatus because I'm doing different things. And, I was a bit divorced from my art career for a while, but I had a friend who asked me about inking a comic book that he wants to self-publish when it's done. And that inspired me to do what I've been meaning to do, get back to between writing, actually working on some art and back and forth, because I used to do that and it helped me to process and think. So that's what I'm doing currently. And when that's done, my channel, where we give you all sorts of storytelling information, will resume. There are scripts in the works, but they'll be done when they're done.
They'll be done when they're done. That's right. Okay, whose fabulous growl was that? Was that Rosa or somebody? Oh, hi, sweetie. Doll, thanks so much for being here today. You want to tell us a little about you before we roll?
Yeah, I had to have the segue with dogs because I used to be a pet sitter. That was great. That was awesome. Hi, I'm Cecil Runo. I'm a blind storyteller for introspective readers, writing sci-fi mostly, and I have some short stories published. My channel is a weird combination between wildlife meets writing, and only I could pull it off. And if you want to know why did I do that, well, then you have to stay tuned for my sci-fi that I'm going to self-publish. More on that in my newsletter. See you soon. See you next week.
Excellent. Thanks so much, Doll. You guys are awesome. I am Lisa Daly. I write contemporary romance. I forgot for a second. Contemporary romance and nonfiction advice. And this is my channel. And here we talk about how to write a book you're super proud of and get it published. And thank you so much for tuning in. We will see you next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Take care, everybody.
Bye.